So hey guys, my name is Pratham. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Zell Education. At Zell, we train students in various different courses, specifically in the field of finance. And today's topic is going to be on what to do after you've done ACCA. So whether you're a qualified member, whether you're pursuing it and thinking of the next step, or you are contemplating ACCA before you've started it and already thinking a few steps ahead. Hopefully today's video should cover all of these doubts. If this video helps you in any way in making a decision, please do subscribe, because we'll try and release as many videos which will help you in your financial career decision making. So with that being said, I'm going to split this video into two parts. One is what to do after ACCA from the work perspective, and second is what to do from the academic perspective. And one point for everybody: if you are studying or have studied or are thinking of studying ACCA, do not worry thinking that, oh, if you do ACCA, you have to study something else. I personally know tons of successful people in India and overseas who have only completed ACCA, and they have successful, thriving careers, right from whether it is at a similar level that of a CA all the way to CFO positions. So first of all, and only ACCA is already enough. Now, with that being said, let's come to the work part. So if you are, whether you're in the middle of your career or you've completed your ACCA, guys, it's ASAP you need to start working. When I say you need to start working, whether it is in the field of consulting and advisory, or whether it is in the field of audit, or you're working in a particular company which is a non-CA company, and you're working in the finance and accounting department of that company. I know people who work in different companies such as Amazon and Google in their finance and accounting department. That's any which way is a superb experience that you can garner. So if you're thinking what field to work in if you're doing ACCA, as long as that field is giving you some exposure, it is giving you some idea of the real world, go for it. Once you enter a particular field and you work in that field for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, not only will you understand about that field, but automatically you get exposure to all the fields around that. As an example, I know a lot of people who worked in the field of audit. Now, when you're in audit, many people relatively dislike audit compared to other fields. But once you work in a big company and you start talking to people from different departments, different fields, you start conversing, not only will you understand what they're saying, but compared to have not worked in audit, you will understand much more because you have some exposure of the corporate world, of the real world. So start working, work for 6 months, decide if the field you're working in is something you like or not. If you like, great, continue. If you dislike it, you'll have an idea, okay, what next should you try? And then your goal is to, okay, how do I now? So giving an example, if you're working in audit and you realize, oh, I have this friend who's working in corporate finance and I really like corporate finance, I like what he's saying, right? Then your goal is, okay, how do I now reach where he's reached? Can I do it with my current qualification, or do I need to study something else? Is it possible for me to convert from where I am to? That's the next question. And based on that, you will be able to find your liking of what field and what profile you should eventually work in. So that's what you should do along with or after ACCA from the work perspective. Now coming to the academic side. Academically also there are many things that you can do. But first of all, guys, academic students come and ask, okay, after is ACCA and CFA a good combination? Is ACCA and MBA a good combination? So I have a very simple suggestion. When you start your first qualification, in this case, if you've taken ACCA as your first qualification and you do it based on theory, you do it based on what others tell you, it's fine. The second degree, the second qualification you pursue should not be pre-planned so early. It should not be a fluke. It should not be a theory. Once you probably complete ACCA and have a little work exposure, you will know what is actually out there. What do people who've qualified as CFAs actually do? What do people who've qualified as MBAs actually do? And based on what you like, you actually decide, okay, what do I study next? Do not pre-plan your studies so far in advance that you're planning what you're going to study 5 years later. Instead, take the first qualification as a first step. study it, gain some exposure, and now figure what you want to do. And based on what you want to do, if you need to study to get there, then pick up the second qualification. So if you want to get into investment banking and CFA is the right option, don't do a CPA. Just because you had planned CPA way in advance that after ACCA I'll do CPA. But if you're liking, if your affinity, if your profile is towards another field and that field requires you to study something else, that's the step you need to take. So option number one, most common one for ACCA is if you complete ACCA and you like the entire finance, the investment, the financial management, the corporate finance, the understanding overall the markets, right? There is equity market and bond market and stuff like that. If you like that aspect, then you should ideally go for CFA. The good part is a huge chunk of the CFA syllabus is already covered in ACCA, so CFA will become slightly easier for you. So that is if you like investment management and finance, then post ACCA go for CFA. Let's say you want to get into a company, or you started liking certain subjects in ACCA which are obviously related to you understanding how an organization works relative to its environment, which means you understand business. So not only how the organization works, but you understand about competition, you understand about the industry and your affinities towards that. Then the right next step for you would be MBA. If you combine your accounting and finance qualification with an MBA, you basically are in a position to lead companies into their next phase. So if somehow that resonates with you, or as you're working you realize that's what again is something that is pulling you, MBA ideally should be your next option. And finally, another third common one which we have is CPA US. A lot of people finish ACCA because first of all you can start ACCA relatively young, but irrespective, by the time you complete ACCA, you're eligible to appear for CPA US. Now CPA US is, first of all, it's USCA. So I've explained in the previous video where I've compared ACCA, CFA and CPA. You can check that out to understand the detailed differences. But CPA is US CA. It is already recognized across the world and one of the most powerful qualifications, because across the world, a lot of accounting books are written in the US language, in US accounting language called US GAAP. So ACCA makes you a qualified CA, a global CA any which ways. Add to that US CPA, and that gives you two qualifications, both which are chartered accountants. One is global in nature, one is US, which in turn is global in nature, and you get yourself a dual qualification which is applicable across the world. All of these are to be decided based on your experience of studying ACCA and realizing what is it that you're liking. If you decide any of these just because your friends are doing it, or it sounds somehow good to you or something, you hear a good salary package and that's why you're working backwards, it will fail for you. The right step is to figure out what you like and then take the next step. So this is what you should do. By the way, if you just continue working and, like I said in the beginning, don't do anything, that can also be good enough for you as an entire career. So all of it comes down to what is it that is applicable to you once you start the first qualification, which in this case being ACCA. So guys, a summary for this video: whenever you are choosing, if you see most of the students around you, the first qualification or first degree they choose will always be more of intuition, more of a fluke, more of what people around them are suggesting them to do, right? Whether it's CA, whether it's ACCA, whatever it is. But the second degree, the second qualification should be much better planned out by you, because you are not doing it out of just what others are saying anymore. You're not doing it out of an intuition, because you have the first degree to help you build an understanding of what you like, or what is it that you resonate with. So with that being said, I want to ask you all one question. What is the next qualification, next degree after ACCA that you are planning on choosing? Let us know in the comments. Thank you. So guys, wait, before you leave, I'm going to leave you all with the same old. Do you know what the difference between you and a successful version of you is? The successful version of you would not miss out on subscribing to this channel today.